Hi everybody, I'm Leah of seejanedrill, and I gotta tell you, there's a drywall problem out there that many of you have experienced and you've written in about. Well, we're gonna tackle that problem coming up next. What you're looking at here is the side view of a sheet of drywall. Now the top section, the surface, is paper. And if we go beneath the drywall, the bottom piece is also a sheet of paper. Now, in between the two sheets of paper is gypsum. And you have to think of it like plaster, because that's really what it is. And the paper on the top and the paper on the bottom create a plaster sandwich. And it's that paper that keeps the plaster in check. So here we are at the demo wall. So let me tell you what's going on here. What happens a lot of times is that drywall isn't prepared properly, and then someone comes and they install wallpaper. And then years down the road, homeowners, they want to make a change and they decide to remove the wallpaper. And this is what they find, because the drywall wasn't prepared in the way it should be for wallpaper. And so then you're left with something like this. And if you're going to put more wallpaper up, you need to do something about it. But if you want to paint, well, then you're faced with a huge task. And I'm going to show you how to make that repair so it looks great. Now, first what I'm going to do is, see I've got peeling paper here in a lot of areas. And if we were to just lay joint compound on that, you'd get a lot of trash in your joint compound, and it would just look awful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a very light sand just to knock that paper off. We're not digging in. We're really just doing a light sand, just like that. That's all you want to do. All right. So let me go across. That's it. Now that I've knocked down all that curling paper, and don't worry about doing a perfect job, we just want to get most of it off. Now it's time to apply like a sealer on top of this before we apply our joint compound, and that's where this enters, okay? This is a product that I have found that's really unique at addressing this particular issue, and it works wonders. If you look at the side of the can here, it binds unstable surfaces and locks down torn drywall paper amongst the few things it does. And that's just ideal for this particular situation. Now, you can't purchase it in a home improvement store or a hardware store. You really have to find it online, and I'll place a link in the description below, or you can find it in a paint store, because this is really what professionals use. Now we're ready to seal it. Now you want to stir it before using it, and don't worry that it's not paint. So as you can see, it's kind of translucent, all right? It's water-based, so cleanup should be really easy. And it's really on the clear side again, okay? Now I'm just using a small hot dog roller because this is just a demo wall. But if you're doing a whole wall, then you want to use an appropriate size sleeve, 9 inches, and at least a medium nap roller. The nap, of course, is the thickness of the sleeve itself. You want to apply it liberally, but not too heavy, okay? We just want to roll it on. Now our surface is nice and dry. It's been 3 hours. It's not tacky. And I don't know if you can see this at home, but there's a little bit of a sheen to this material. Now it's time for us to repair the areas. Now what I'm using is all-purpose joint compound. It's not setting type, it's the air dry kind. And the reason for this is because this is an easy sand. We'll put it on, we'll have to sand this to a uniform finish. And you know that setting type joint compound, it's not too easy to sand. So you make it easy on yourself and use an all-purpose or a lightweight air dry joint compound. Now I'm just using a taping knife. If you've got a large area to do, you may elect to use a trowel. Okay, so I'm just going to do a light skim. We're not laying it on real heavy, but we definitely want to cover the damaged areas. So let's just do it like this. Now I've skimmed it out. We just got to let it dry and then I'll sand it nice and smooth. Now if you're doing the same job and your repair area doesn't look quite this smooth, don't worry about it. That's what sandpaper is for. Joint compound is dry. Now we're just going to do a light sand with a little sanding screen. And again, just lightly. That's all we're worried about, knocking down some of the high spots. It's all sanded. All we have to do is knock off all this dust. Now we'll apply one additional coat of the problem surface sealer, and that's what I'm going to do next. Now we've applied the sealer. We just have to wait for it to dry, and then we'll paint. So we're all done. It's nice and dry. Now we're just going to paint. Okay, so that's it. It has covered very well. In fact, you can't see not one repair area. So this has done its job, and I'm satisfied. This is Leah saying you can do this. See you next time.